Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. All right, little pickup video today. I'd say within the past 6 months or so, I've gotten three new Bryce Harper cards, um, and they've really sort of bolstered my overall Bryce Harper collection, as small as it may be. But I want to get into that today, just show some cards, kind of talk just broadly about what's going on in cards, hobby, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's get started. First of all, so prior to getting these new cards, this was the only Bryce Harper card that I had really. The 2023 Topps Chrome Superfractor. Picked that up last year, I think. I know it was in my top 100 last year, so sometime last year. I don't remember when exactly, but yeah, this is top 5 type top 10 card for me, one of my favorites that I own. And I don't actually consider myself like a huge Bryce Harper fan or anything like that, but he just fits that sort of archetype that I'm looking for in this generation. The established guys, 2020s, 2010s, late 2010s, sort of that 58 career war, multi-time MVP winner, all that kind of stuff, and then obviously the card type, the rare stuff, the superfractors, the heritage golds, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, this has always been a prized item here, and just always really been stoked to have this one. I have the Mookie from this set, the Superfractor from 23, the Otani Gold, the Judge Gold. So yeah, this was really my only Bryce Harper representation within my collection. But within, like I said, within the last 6 months or so, I've been able to add three big cards, which I'm going to show you here today. So this will be kind of the setup here. We've got that one. I think I have the order down. I think I got this one first. So this next one I'm going to show you. Bought it raw and sent it to PSA for grading. Came back in 9. So this is his 2024 Heritage Gold out of 5. Um, Very cool card there. I think this one was about $500. We got copy number 5 of 5 there. You can see under the PH and Phillies. So very cool one. I got the Trout from this set. I think I've shown that in a video previously. Got the Lindor. Had the Judge, but I sold that recently, so that'll be a story for another day. But yeah, this is a really cool one. So 2024 Heritage, not my favorite of the 2020s. It is the last year, obviously. Um, but yeah, I still think this is a great card. Obviously, there's only 5 copies, so super rare, hard to find. I actually had the chance to buy the Superfractor of this last year, shortly after set release. I think I should have bought it too. I want to say it was anywhere from 12 to 1600, and that was just kind of it was probably a situation where I just didn't feel comfortable spending that much money on any card at the time. So wasn't any sort of indictment on that particular card, but yeah, I was probably just feeling strapped for cash or whatever. But yeah, fired up to have this one. Anytime I can get these around that $500 price point, I think that's great. But yeah, so that's the 24. Pair that one up with the 23. Okay, so I got that one first, and then I got that one. I think this one then I got next, and this is actually my favorite of the golds that I have. So this is the 22. 22 is just such a great year for these. The first one I ever bought for Heritage of the golds, I think, was the 22 Lindor. Um, and I ended up selling that one because I got the Superfractor. But yeah, this is a beauty. I had the black refractor for Bryce that I sold a while back, but I think that's such a cool image. And what makes 22 better than 24, in my opinion, is obviously just the textured background with the stippling, as my buddy Shane Shoebox Legends would say. So yeah, you can see it there. It just adds a real lot of depth and just a lot of quality to the overall card. Um, Having that just slight bit of texture in the back relative to the flat background of the 24. Not all of these have that. 2021's flat. 22 has the stippling. 23 has the stippling. 24 is flat. 2020 has the stippling. 2019 does. So yeah, I just think these are better quality in the back of this too. You see, it's a lot more dynamic than the 24. I'll show you the 24 again for context, but just very, very vivid. That classic cardstock on the back. You see there number 405 at the bottom. So this is this 22 Bryce is such a great card. Really, really happy with this one. Just love that sort of red, white, and blue Phillies uniform. I'll show you the back of this one again. Like I said, it's not bad. It's just it is what it is. But yeah, so I think people underestimate how cool the back of Heritage is. Like, I know vintage look on modern cards isn't for everyone, but man, it's definitely for me. I really, really love these. Just very, very different in this era where so many things look the same. So yeah, it doesn't feel gimmicked at all. Just the vintage on modern when it comes to the heritage in baseball. In other areas, it does feel a little bit kind of whatever. But heritage has such a lineage and legacy as a product dating back to the early 2000s. Um, so yeah, fired up about that. So that's the 22. Then I got one more. I bought this card privately actually. Shout out to my buddy Pat, Insta account haver on Instagram. He saw I was kind of compiling the Bryce Harpers, and he had bought this a while back, and he kind of asked me if I'd be interested, and I was. But at the time that he approached me, I had just come off a couple pretty big purchases. So I told him, I was like, yeah, man, you can probably get more from somebody else, and you can probably get it sooner. But he was super cool, and he's like, you know what, man, I'll just hold it back for you, and yeah, so I thought that was really cool. Really appreciate that, Pat. If you see this, thanks again for the flexibility and the really super fair price on this one. I'll definitely get you back down the road here. I'll send you something cool. Got a couple ideas of something you might like. So yeah, but the 2020, man, these really are very shiny. I don't know if you're going to be able to fully get it because my lighting's kind of not the best right now, but this one I think looks quite a bit better than 24. You still got the stippling in the background there. You can see the texture. Um, but yeah, the reason I like the 22 I think better than the 24. I'm not crazy about that photograph. I think it's pretty cool, but I don't think it's his best. I really like this one quite a lot, and I like the Superfractor too. The cool thing about these though is each one of these is a different uniform. Here you've got the gray, there you've got the red, here you've got the pinstripes, and there you've got just the classic sort of white and um, the plain white. So shout out to Joe, by the way, Force Off Corners. He'll be able to kind of tell me what you know. We got all the uniforms here, so all the Philly. I don't know if there's any other uniforms that I know they have the City Connects, which are horribly ugly. The hats are cool, but the uniforms are just god awful for the Phillies. But yeah, they have a sharp uniform though. My uncle's a big Phillies fan, and he's always had caps and shirts and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, fired up about this one. This one has a nice back, probably the best back out of all of them. You got number 5 of 5 there. So got the little portrait there, classic green background, 2020 design. I showed you the back of 20. Yeah, I showed you that one. So yeah, this one's super sick though. Just very, very cool. So that's my Bryce Harper collection. Kind of leveled up pretty significantly. I've got one more raw card to grade for Bryce. It's not remotely on the level of these, but it's a cool card. So I'll show that one when I eventually get it back from PSA. But But yeah, let's just kind of talk now. So broadly speaking, I'm recording this maybe a week or so after the national. Obviously, a lot of excitement around that. Had a lot of friends go. They all had a good time. A lot of people told me that it was that they didn't find any cards to buy. Other people did have more success. I think it just depends on kind of obviously what you were looking for. If you're shopping for, vintage cards, you're going to have a lot more selection, obviously, than if you're looking for stuff like this. But yeah, it just is what it is. So everybody seemed to have a good time there. That was cool to see. I followed along on my phone, people's stories on Instagram, YouTube recaps, all that kind of stuff. So I always enjoy the post national content. Yeah, so that's cool. Dave and I would Dave Sports Cards. If you haven't seen it yet, we launched a new YouTube channel called Overthinking Baseball Cards. We just had our first episode a couple days ago. The response to that's been really great. Really appreciate everybody taking the time to subscribe and watch and leave a comment and reach out to us on Instagram and talk about baseball cards. So that's been a blast. It's crazy to think that you know I mean, there's a lot of collectors that have YouTube channels that do baseball. Obviously, vintage is big on YouTube and modern to some extent. But yeah, I think Dave and I are going to really do kind of a different type of show that not a lot of people are doing. Um, and yeah, I think there's a big appetite for that of just, very relatable conversations that are fun. It's not like we're not really limiting ourselves to any era or type of card or type of discussion. We have a lot of ideas, and I think a lot of it's going to be really really fun. So looking forward to doing more of those. Right now, we're just looking at once per month. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm also looking for a new microphone. So I've got was looking around on Amazon today, and hopefully by the time we record our next episode, I'll have a much better setup as it relates to the audio. So yeah, that's kind of the lowdown on overthinking baseball cards. In terms of my collecting, everything's going pretty well. I've got some stuff at PSA. It's been there forever. I've got some big pickups recently. Recently made a pretty significant like 5 for 5 type where I sold 5 cards and bought 5. This Bryce was one of them, but I'll get into more of that from a strategic perspective later on in a future video. Still heavily focused on vintage non-sports, buying a lot of that stuff raw and grading it. Probably just made my most significant non-sport purchase ever the other day, so that'll be a fun one once I get that. Bought a really man, I have such one really massive baseball card that I'm really excited about. That's probably the biggest card I've got this year. I just got that in the other day, so yeah, a lot of stuff happening. Haven't had very much time at all to do stuff like this. Just been very, very busy with work and my dogs the past couple months. Summer's been just insanely hot. Just, yeah, lawn care, all the just whatever real life type stuff that has to be taken care of. So yeah, that really limits your time to do these types of creative things. And then plus my primary focus is always on um, just collecting cards first and foremost. So yeah, I put most of my energy into that, and yeah, when I get a few extra minutes, I like to obviously share and uh, you know get up to date on everything. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Hopefully, more videos coming soon. And yeah, if you haven't, I'll leave a link to it in the description. But definitely go subscribe to Dave and I's new channel, Overthinking Baseball Cards, and he's actually releasing those episodes in his podcast feed as well on the shallow end, so you'll be able to hear that too if you're more of an audio listener. So yeah, really appreciate everybody, and yeah, hope everybody's doing well, and we'll see you again soon. Take it easy.